Hello, we are going to do a juicy full body stretch today. You might want to grab a bolster if you have, or a couple of pillows. I've got a nice long sausage pillow kind of thing going on. And then you might want to grab a towel just to pop under your knees. We will be on the knees for a few of the stretches, or I've just got a couple of skinny pillows from the couch. So just pop those off to the side, and we're going to get started with a little bit of neck action first. So just come to a seated position, and you can either be on your knees or sitting with your legs crossed, whichever is more comfort for you. And then just close down through the eyes and just allow your mouth to close and your tongue to rest up on the top of your mouth, sort of sinking in between your teeth. And just bring your focus to your breath. And on the next exhale, I want you to drop your nose towards your chest. And then just slowly inhale and bring the nose up to the side, like you're doing a circle. You're tracing a circle with your nose. So you inhale all the way up to the top, and then you exhale down the opposite side. So we inhale when we go up, and we exhale when we go down. I'm not going to tell you when to breathe in or out. I'll let you just go at the pace of your own breath. Just try and keep your tongue in between your teeth, in that little hole in the gap where your gums are. Once you reach the bottom, I'll get you to stop there and come up the other side. So inhale on the way up, and exhale down the opposite side. Try and stay nice and slow, nice and soft. Beautiful. Coming back into the center, opening up through your eyes. We're going to start by loosening up through your neck first. So just take your left hand and place it on the top of your right shoulder. And then take your right hand and grab onto your forearm. And that's just going to anchor your left hand down on that shoulder. Then I want you to bring your ear away from the shoulder that's got your hand on it. So you're bringing your ear to the opposite shoulder. And then we're going to lift the chin and look up to the ceiling, and you'll feel this stretch in through the front side of your neck. Just allowing that breath to flow in and out of your body. And with these stretches, we're not trying to like muscle into it. You don't want to push yourself like 8 out of 10. Just keep it 7 or below out of 10 intensity. That way you're going to allow those muscles to relax and let go. And then slowly bringing your head back up to the center, and then change onto the other side. So hand on the shoulder, and then the opposite hand just grabs onto the forearm to anchor that hand down, and then ear goes to the opposite shoulder, and then chin lift, looking up to the ceiling, taking some nice deep breaths, and just allowing that neck to release. And then slowly bringing your head back up to the center. And then just roll those shoulders a little bit. And then just turn around lengthways on your mat and bring your knees out nice and wide. And you can just sit back on your heels. And then we're just going to link the hand behind you. So just link the hands behind your back. We're just going to open up through the chest here. So straightening out through those arms, lifting up nice and tall. So try not to slump down into your spine. I want you to lift the head up towards the ceiling and then straightening those arms. And then if you can, you're trying to lift the arms away from the floor and trying to feel that in through your chest. Now, if you want here, you can start to lean forward. Now, this is where you might want to pop your pillows, sausage, bolster in front of you. Looks like I've got a big bolster in front of me, doesn't it? Chest out, sorry. Opening up through the chest. And then if you want to, you can lean forward and rest your head down on your bolster. Still lifting the arms up towards the ceiling. So now you might start to feel a little bit of stretching happening in through your hips as well. Just trying to allow ourselves to sink into these stretches. Breathe into your belly. Still lifting the arms up towards the ceiling, opening up through that chest. And on the next breath out, you can let go of those arms. So bring the arms down beside you, so underneath the shoulders. And then you can just start to nice and slowly roll all the way up to sitting. So just rolling all the way up into seated position. Now we can pop that bolster off to the side and we're going to stretch in through your lats a little bit there now. So you can stay on your knees with your knees out nice and wide. You're going to lift up through the right arm and then just drape the right arm over the top of your head. Then you're going to grab the arm with the opposite hand. You're going to grab onto the elbow, tuck through the pelvis and ground down through the sit bones, especially that side that's got the arm up over the head. And then lift up. I want you to lengthen from the hip right up to that elbow and then side bend over towards your left. And then you will roll the right shoulder forward a little bit and look down to your left hip. And you should feel a stretch down through that lat on that left side. You're on the right side. Tuck through the pelvis, lift up nice and tall, side bend. And then just allow yourself to play with that until you can feel it in through the wings. On the side, in through the lat. Breathe. So you're just allowing that shoulder to roll forward a little bit, looking down to the opposite hip. Keep anchoring down through the pelvis. So tuck your pelvis. One more deep breath. And release. Coming back up to the center, bringing those arms back down again. Feels a little bit different on both sides there now. Now you will lift up through your left hand and then just drape the elbow over the top of your head. And then you're going to grab onto that elbow with the opposite hand, tuck your pelvis, lift up nice and tall, and then side bending over to your right side and then allowing your left shoulder to roll forward. Keep tucking through the pelvis. And it's like you're just side bending from the belly button up, right? Because you've got that tuck in the pelvis anchoring down through the lower back. Side bending over to the right and then allowing that shoulder to roll forward so you can feel that stretching through your lats. Breathe. Always trying to make sure you keep that breath flowing in and out through this session. And just slowly coming back up to the center. And release your arms down. Now, next up, we're going to open through your inner thighs and again through those lats a little bit. You might want to grab your little pillows or your towel to pop underneath your knees for this one. So just bringing your knees out wide and you're going to pop your knees on top of your pillows or on top of a rolled up towel. Now from here, we're going to get sexy. So I want your heels turned out to the sides and your heels are behind your knees. So don't have your feet inwards. You want your heels behind your knees, feet turned out. And then make sure you're not rounding out, you're not tucking through the lower back. So I want you to twerk, stick your bum out. Then we're going to come down. So I'm trying to stick my bum out and I'm trying to push my bum back behind my hips. So I'm pushing my butt back that way, okay? So sticking the bum out, pushing my butt back, and you should be able to feel that in through those inner thighs. Breathe. And then we're going to walk the hands out in front and then bring the head all the way down to the floor. Breathe. Hello, inner thighs. Hello, adductors. Keep sticking your bum out, so don't relax through the pelvis. And then there's more. We're going to walk the hands over to the right side. So walk the hands over to the right side, stick your bum out, and keep pushing your bum back. Now reach your left arm as far forward as you can. Breathe. Lengthen, create space. Keep sticking your bum out, so make sure you're not rounding out through that lower back. Juicy, juicy stretch. One more breath. Carefully walk the elbows back into the center. Have a little breather there for a moment, and then we're going to make our way over to the other side. So walking the hands over to the left and then sinking your head down towards the floor. Keep sticking your bum out and then reach your right arm forward. Breathe. Keep tilting through that pelvis, so keep sticking your bottom out. Opening up those hips, releasing the tension. Good. Right arm reaches forward. Releasing your lats. And then nice and carefully walking back into the center. Woo. Now we're going to carefully come out of this one. So just walking your hands back in, bring your hands under your shoulders, put the palms on the floor, and then come all the way up. Bring one knee in and then bring the other knee in. And you can get rid of those little pillows or your towel. I just like to give my hips a little bit of love after that one. So just tilting and tucking, maybe just rocking the hips around a little bit to one way, doing a circle, and then change direction round the other way. Nice work. All right, now we're going to come into a kneeling lunge position. So if you did want your pillow or your towel underneath your left knee, you can, and bring the right foot forward into a kneeling lunge position. All right, and then bringing those hips back into stillness. Now we're going to come into a hip flex and then bringing those hips back into the center. Now we're going to come into a hip and hamstring stretch. So we're going to come into a kneeling lunge position. I want you to bring your right foot forward and keep the left knee on the floor. Left foot is untucked. Walk the foot off your mat. So just bring the right foot forward and a little bit further outside your mat, and then we're going to bring the hands down onto the floor. So you can either be on the whole palm of the hand or just up on the fingertips. My hands are just sort of just up on the fingers. And then tuck through the pelvis, and then you're pressing your hip forward. Keep your foot facing forward and try and keep your pelvis facing forward as well. Chest out, lengthen out through the spine, tucking the pelvis, and we're just pressing that left hip forward. And breathe. Inhale. On the next exhale, we're going to come into a hamstring stretch. So I want you to straighten out through that right leg, pushing your hips back. You can either keep the hands on the inside of that leg. I like to bring one onto the outside of the leg, whatever feels better for you. And we've got that right leg straight-ish. So some people will be like this. It doesn't matter as long as you're feeling that stretch in through the back of your leg. Try and keep your pelvis kind of square, facing forward, pressing those hips back, straightening out through that front leg. And then inhale. Exhale, we're going to walk the hands forward again. So come forward into that kneeling lunge, stretch again. So pressing your hips forward, and especially trying to press that left hip forward. Place your hands flat on the floor now if you haven't already. And then we're going to inhale, lift the right hand up towards the ceiling and open out to the right side. Keep trying to push your left hip forward, looking out to that right side. Now this might be enough for you in that position, or if you want a little bit more, bend through the back knee And again, that might be enough. Go where you want to go. If you want some more, you can reach around and grab onto the outside of the foot with your right hand. So I'm grabbing onto that foot. Breathe, keep pushing your left hip forward, and now I'm pulling that foot towards me. I'm also opening through that chest on the right side. Now if you want a little bit more, you can roll the right knee out to the side, so you're rolling onto the outside of that right foot. Breathe, pressing your left hip forward, so whichever version is right for your body today. Breathe. Next breath in. When you exhale, we're going to unravel the pretzel, so release the foot. Foot comes back down to the floor, foot comes back into the center, hand comes back down, and then we can walk that knee back into that kneeling position. Give your hips a little bit of rock there in between. And then we get to do that on the other side. So we're going to bring your left foot forward now into that lunge position. And then just remember, we had the foot on the outside of that mat. Untuck the back toes. Now we're going to tuck the pelvis and press that chest forward, really thinking about pushing your right hip forward. Breathe. Keep tucking through the pelvis, pressing that right hip forward. Chest out nice and long, lengthen out through the top of the head. Breath in. On the next breath out, we'll move into the hamstring stretch. So we're going to push the hips back, straighten out through that front leg. You can either leave the hands on the inside or one on the outside of that front leg. Flex the foot, so we're pulling the foot up towards the ceiling. And then just play around with not leaning your hips too far over to the right. So sort of try and center your hips a little bit, your pelvis. Oof, hello, left hamstring. Keep pulling the foot up towards the ceiling. Breathe. Release. One more deep breath. And then slowly walking the hands forward again. Deepen the hip stretch now. So we're going to press those hips forward. Come down onto your hands if you can. So flat hands on the floor. Keep lengthening out through the top of the head. And now we're going to inhale. Reach the left hand up towards the ceiling. Open through the chest. Breathing here. Now, if you want to take it deeper, you can bend through that back knee. Oof. And then if you want to deepen a little bit more, you can grab onto the outside of that foot with your left hand. Open through the chest. Chest is turning out towards that left side. And then if you want to go a little bit more, you can roll onto the outside of that left foot. Breathe, pulling your foot in towards your bum. Opening the chest, and if you're rolling onto the outside of the foot, you're getting a little bit of glute action there as well. But if you're not doing that, your body's not up for that today, that's okay. Take a breath. And then we're going to slowly release that back foot, come back into the center, hands down. Sliding that foot back behind you, and then just give your hips a little bit of love, rocking side to side a little bit there. Alrighty, we're going to come down onto your bottom next up. So sitting around on your bum, come off those knees a little bit will be nice, wouldn't it? So sitting up nice and tall, and we will bring your right foot into the center line of the body. So instead of having it hip width apart, just slide it into the center, and then bring the left foot just outside the right knee. If you need to, you can keep it inside. So either inside or outside the right knee. Sitting up nice and tall, and we're going to wrap our right arm around the knee. Lengthen up. Inhale, lift the left arm up to the ceiling. Exhale, turn around. Place the hand on the ground behind us. And really hug that knee in across to the right side. Press your right foot out in front. Pull the left knee over to the right. Sit up nice and tall and looking over your left shoulder. Breathe. Lengthen. Create space. And free up the peach. On the next exhale, you can unravel. come back around to the front, and then change onto the other side. So left leg comes out in front, right leg crosses over the top, sitting up nice and tall. So try not to lean right back into this one. If you need to, you can sit up on a pillow if that feels better. Sitting up nice and tall, wrap the left arm around the right knee. Inhale, lift that arm up, the right arm up. Exhale, right hand comes down to the floor behind you, looking over your right shoulder. You're pulling the right knee across to the left, okay? Pulling it across. Push your left heel out in front. So straighten that left leg out. Pull the right knee over to the left side, looking over that right shoulder. On the next exhale, coming back around towards the center. Nice one. Feet are going to be hip width apart for another little hamstring stretch. So hip width apart with those legs sitting up nice and tall. We're going to inhale, reach those hands up, and then exhale. Try and hinge forward from the hips, so try not to round out through the back. If you need to, bend your knees up so you can hinge forward like this rather than rounding out. So think about sticking your bum out. Think about tilting your pelvis, again like the twerking action, and then leaning forward. So we've still got that tilt. So if you start off with your knees bent, you might be able to straighten them out as we go along. So on the breath out, you can try and straighten them out a little bit. Again, we're not trying to force, 8, 9, 10 out of 10 pain factor here. We're just trying to get like a 60, 70%. So wherever you can go there, whether you've got your legs out straight or you've got them bent, as long as you can feel that stretch in through your hamstrings. Breathe, so you're reaching for your toes or you're reaching for your calves. And release, slowly rolling back up towards the center. You're going to bring your right foot out into a Y position and then bring the left foot onto the inner thigh of that right side. Try and anchor down through that left knee. So try not to let your left knee come up. So push it down as much as you can and then sit up nice and tall. We're going to reach over to that right foot again, to the calf, to the knee, whatever you can reach on that side. So you're reaching over to try and grab that foot. Still working through the hamstring here. Push down through the left knee. So try and anchor that left knee down. And then we're going to reach your left arm up and over towards your right foot as well. So now we should feel that stretch in through the lower back on your left side. Breathe. Staying in that position there. Now, if you want a little bit more something, you could keep your right hand on your left hand on your right foot, and then your right hand can thread underneath and reach for your left knee. So we're getting into a little bit of a pretzel here, and then you're twisting your left armpit up towards the ceiling. Breathe. Keep anchoring down through your left knee. Or you might just be reaching over towards that right foot, whatever feels good, whatever your body is up for. Breathe. All right, next breath out, you're going to slowly release. Beautiful. Come all the way up to sitting. And then onto the other side. So left foot out into a Y position. And right foot is onto the inner thigh. Sitting up nice and tall. We're going to reach left hand over towards the left knee, calf, foot, whatever you can reach for. Keep the right knee anchored down. So keep pushing down through that right side. Breathe. And just pay attention when you do both sides, which feels a little bit different. If it feels a little bit different, it might just need a little bit more attention. So always trying to tune into the body and go, oh, okay, I need to lengthen and open that a little bit, because we do want to try and create a little bit of balance. Otherwise, our muscles get all imbalanced and can lead to a few of those niggles or even organ changes. Now we're going to reach the right arm up over towards the left side, so you're stretching in towards that QL, your lower back. Breathe. If you wanna, I don't think I want it on this side, goodness me. Stretching your right hand to the outside of the left foot, and you're gonna thread your left hand through to grab onto the right knee. And then twisting your right armpit up towards the ceiling, big deep stretch. And so my body has just shown me that this side needs a little bit more love and attention. Pop that in my pocket and come back to it later. TV stretch. One more deep breath. Slowly release. Ooh, goodness me. Rolling back up to sitting. And then come back over onto all fours. And just come into a cheeky little cat-cow after that sort of pretzel position. Untuck those toes. And then just inhale, lifting your head and your bum up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, rounding out through the spine. Inhale. And exhale. Just hydrating those muscles. Beautiful. You might like to shift the hips a little side to side, just doing whatever feels nice for your body, or stay with that cat-cow. And then we're going to come over onto your back. Everyone's like, yeah, finally, H.A.I.Ls. Lay down all the way onto your back. We'll just open up through your peach a little bit. Bring your left foot in line with your belly button, so knees are bent, and then cross your right knee all the way over the top. Now there's two options here. You could have the legs crossed all the way over like that, or you could just cross the ankle over. So whatever's right for your body for this. If you've just got the ankle over, you're going to lift up and grab onto the left thigh. When you do that, I want you to make sure you don't flatten out through that lower back. So when we do that, sometimes the pelvis tucks. I want you to try and keep tilting your pelvis for this. So think about sticking your belly button out, not puffing your belly out, but tilting your pelvis so your belly button pokes out. So you're grabbing onto the thigh, or if your knees are crossed all the way over, you're going to grab onto both of the feet or the ankles. Stick your bum out, tilt the pelvis. Lengthen the top of the head away from the tailbone. And then just pulling the knees in towards you, and you feel a big deep stretch in through your butt. Keep the knees in the center line of the body. And then just try and make sure you're not flattening your lower back to the floor. So we're sticking our bum out, pulling those feet in towards us. As you pull the feet in, the feet will kind of splay out towards the sides a little bit. Keep sticking your bum out. Pulling those knees in towards you. One more deep breath. Keep your bum out. Beautiful. Bring those legs back down to the floor. Swap over onto the other side. So right leg into the center line of the body. Left knee crosses over the top. So either like I've got it, or just the ankle over the top. Lift up the legs and grab onto your ankles or that bottom thigh, and then stick your bum out, and then we're going to pull the knees in towards the chest. So you kind of imagine you've got a little blueberry underneath your lower back, and you don't want to squish the blueberry. So keep your tilt in the pelvis, pull those knees in towards you as the feet are splaying out towards those sides. Breathing. Keeping that tilt in through the pelvis. Knees are staying in the center line of the body, so make sure they're not shifting over to one side. One more deep breath. Beautiful. Bring those legs back down to the floor. Uncross those legs. Bring the feet out as wide as your mat, and then just give yourself a little shimmy side to side. Nice work. Again, this one's just hydrating those muscles a little bit. So just allowing those knees to drop down to one side, bring them up to the center, over to the other side. Beautiful. Now we're going to come into just a little minute of relaxation. If you want to, you can stay with this knee drop side to side. You can use that as a movement meditation if your body feels like it would get more out of just a little bit of flow today. Or you can come into complete relaxation by lengthening your legs all the way down to the floor. So I just want you to choose what's right for you. I'm actually going to stay with the movement today. So keep the eyes closed. If your legs are out nice and straight, you're completely relaxing your whole body, just allowing everything to flop down towards the floor. And if your knees were moving side to side, they can start to slow down. And if you were in complete relaxation, you can start to get a little bit of wriggling through your fingers and your toes. And just starting to move your arms and legs, have a little bit of a stretch. And then when you're ready, just carefully roll on over to your side. Press yourself all the way up to sitting, and hopefully your body feels nice and juicy and a little bit more flowy after that full body juicy stretch. Have a wonderful day or evening, and I will catch you next time.